Hi, this is In the House Media, and I'm Yanina Carter with The Beat. And on that note, I've got some fantastic guys that I'm interviewing today. And you wouldn't believe that these guys came from Philadelphia, started off in school, so forth, and then ended up being big time music producers, arrangers, working with all the artists all over the world, traveling. But let me introduce you to Bill Jolly and Brett Jolly.
Hey,
Welcome, you guys.
Hey,
hey,
hey.
It's such a pleasure to actually get you two together at one time because you know it's hard. You're both so busy. You're both so busy. How did we manage this? Um,
Sometimes when we're together, we're busy too, like yesterday. But that's another story.
well, I know you guys are working on a project that's coming up this weekend. That's coming up this weekend. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. We're doing the Teddy Pendergrass tribute in Washington D.C. I think, and in Maryland. Is that right, Bill? I can't remember right offhand.
Yeah. In DC and in Maryland, yeah. And
Yeah.
And it's a
yep,
tribute to Teddy Pendergrass.
Well, yeah,
yes.
we're the original members of his band, and we, and his music still goes on, and we do shows now.
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. Who are you guys? I know that you came from a family of music. Tell me a little bit about that, Bill.
Yeah, we came from a family movie. Yes, my father, well, mostly from my father's side. My mother
Okay.
was not musical. My mother was artistic, though. She was, she drew and painted. My father was a gospel singer. He sang with a group called the Pearly Gates of Chester, Pennsylvania. They
Oh,
were,
okay.
yeah, they were like a quartet group, like the Dixie Hummingbirds. Matter of fact, they were like the little brothers of the Dixie Hummingbirds.
Mhm,
And for
mhm,
people who don't know what the quartet sound is, it's they usually start a song. It goes like well, and then they go in.
mhm.
So my father was what he was at, and so my first gigs and probably my brother's first gigs were with my dad.
Okay. Okay. So you guys actually performed with your dad?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
didn't
So
know that.
yeah,
Yes.
and you had to go around in the churches every Sunday, and that was the only person who would bring me along to really play. We had our own little band, my brother and I, because my brother was started as the piano player first, and I was the
Right.
drummer.
And he was doing drums.
Okay. And then you switched over to bass.
I switched to bass,
Right,
and
right, right.
he switched to
And
keyboard.
and you switched to keyboard.
Yep,
Oh,
that's right.
wow, how did that happen? You guys actually flipped this coin there. Okay, so you guys both were performing with your dad. How old were you at that time?
Oh gosh, I was probably uh, eight, maybe eight, nine,
What are your
maybe.
memories?
Oh gosh, I just remember, my dad was in the church, and he was a very like anointed guy. So he could go before they even sang. He could go up and start praying and turn the church out. But I remember whenever they performed somewhere, just I remember the spirit of the music was so high that
Okay.
they would have to hold people down and the women's wigs would fall off, and it was I mean they would turn the place the spirit was out. They would turn the place out every time they performed.
And that's like that's when they were what are they when they got the feeling, they got the Holy Ghost and
Oh,
they
they got
started.
the Holy Ghost get in them and run up and down the aisles and stand on the chairs, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. But I learned so much from that because music really is about how do you bring that kind of same spirit out of people, no matter what kind of music you're playing.
Well, it's kind of funny that when you mention that, I actually visualized um, Elvis Presley. If you remember, they said that he got all his experience, all that dancing and so forth, from going to churches. And to my understanding, his band was African American. Can you correct me if I'm wrong?
Well, Elvis Presley, he had well, I don't know if his band was African American to start out with because I never seen any African Americans in the band of those Elvis Presley early on. But
In the movie, okay, in the movie.
yeah. But he had he definitely was influenced by African American. There's I can't remember this guy's name, but there's a particular guy whose style he sounds. I mean, Elvis sounds exactly like this guy's style.
Okay.
I mean, all the whole that's that whole,
Yeah. What
yeah.
happened to Brett? Hey, Brett, where'd you go?
You know, that's a good question. See, we always kind of figure out like, well, where did he go? We don't know where he goes sometimes. He stays so busy.
Well,
with
I know that he also said that he had a game. He was playing at a gig, so he was outside in the car. So he might have had to take a break.
maybe he had to go play. But listen, we gonna keep it rolling while he's.
No, of course. So that was your experience growing up with your family in the music business, and that's young. You also went to Overbrook.
I sure did. Yeah, Overbrook High School.
And Overbrook is known for their music and
Yeah.
the people that have come out of there. So tell me a little bit something about that experience.
Yeah, Overbrook was a music magnet program, and so if you were really good in music and in the arts, Overbrook was one of the places you wanted to be. You wanted to be in that band. Dr. George Allen, who was my mentor, was a teacher there, and he recently passed this year too. But he was a great guy, and but he ran a tight ship. He was very much a disciplinarian, very much like play it right, play it correctly. He was no nonsense. And I needed that at the time. I didn't know that I needed it, but I really did. He was tough on me, and to the day, whenever he was in the audience, I would always get nervous because he would say things to you that were so true that you couldn't ignore them. Like I remember one time we played in a show at Overbrook, and I knew we got over. It was like a Friday night show. We would, people were going crazy. So I couldn't wait to see him on Monday to ask him how we did. I said, "So, Mr. Allen, how did we do? How did we do?" And I waited to see. He told me, he said, "Well, you played the latest song, so you got over." And he says, "But you know what your mistakes are, and I know what they were."
Wow. And you knew?
Well, yeah.
Did you know that you made any mistakes?
Yeah, of course. But to this day, I have a hard time after a performance because that one statement sticks in my head. So I could have played 5 million correct notes, but I remember the 4 wrong notes I remember.
Wow.
So it takes me a minute after I perform to kind of calm down and say, okay, let me ask somebody out in the audience how it really came across, because I'm thinking about those 4 mistakes or those 2. But
are you your worst critic?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm glad that I learned it that way, because they, again, from Overbrook, they did not take, anybody who wanted to be mediocre. You had to, if you were going to come and do this and you were going to play music, you better be good or you need to get out of my band. That's how they were. Like you played a wrong note, and they looked at you like you were crazy or like you were getting ready to be swimming with the fishes or something. They
took it serious. Yeah.
They were serious. And I went to All City as well. All City Band and Choir. And they were tough. They were tough on you. And they did not. You were
Hey, you're back.
Somebody got cut off. I have no idea what happened. But I'm glad to be back.
We're glad you're back.
I'm sorry, I missed what my brother said.
Back too.
Thank you.
We're having overlap. And when you tuned in, it did something.
I messed it all up. Is that what I did?
Wait a minute. Yeah, it's a delay. Do you hear the delay? Brett?
I hear it too. You didn't have it. Right.
I didn't at first.
Do I need to sign off and come back in again?
I think so.
Okay. How do you? Can you kick me off, or it says leave here? Okay, let's try this and see what we got.
Yeah, just leave here and come back.
All right, we'll do.
So Bill, you were saying that home. Yeah. So that was from him tuning.
Yeah.
Jumping in.
Okay. Yeah. My brother comes in and messes stuff up. See.
It's okay. I know that he's busy, you guys. He's actually performing tonight, and he took the time to join us through this interview. So I appreciate it, because you guys are big time. You actually took the time to do this, and that's what's really important to me. And again, I want to thank you for doing that, Bill.
Well, listen, No problem. I'm going to also say to everybody that, you know, you were always kind to me when I was really trying to get it together. You know, some people, they don't remember the people who do things. And I remember you would interview me way back in the day. And we were always kind and always, you know.
Supported. What you doing? I like seeing what
you're doing. Yeah. So, you know, listen, you remember those.
Okay, you back?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is it bad? Is it bad?
Sorta.
Okay. I hear both of you guys clear, but that's okay. If, you know, if
I'm just a delay. That's all.
Okay. I apologize. Whatever you want me to do.
I really don't know. This is not my expertise.
But do you have it playing out of your car? The sound out of your car, or is it out of your phone?
Okay, I'm turning it down now. Will that do it? I can't hear you though.
Yes. Well, it actually did.
Yes.
Can you hear?
Yeah. What happens is if you have it playing out of your car, it feeds back into the thing. So this is how we do things, right? See, my brother will technically what he has to do. I can't hear him at all now. Now you got your mute button on. Turn your mute button off.
We can't hear you.
Your mute button is on. Oh man, that's okay. All right, Janina, we're gonna keep going.
Okay. So, but all that led to a career in the business. I know that you guys said that you first started off with one thing and ended up doing another, because you ended up doing the keyboards, which is crazy because your brother was playing the piano at first, right? How did your career take off? Tell me a little bit how your career took off.
Well, for both of us, I think what happened was we had a band together that we were playing in the band, and of course once we started playing in the band, people started noticing us because we would play the latest songs of the day, and that's really kind of how things started. I would have to go to the clubs and say, "Hey, listen, we have a band, and we'd like you to hire us." And like, remember Club Whispers down like 13th and
yeah.
Oh gosh, Cafe de Elegance and all those places like that.
Yes.
So I would go in there and ask people to hire the band, and we get them to hire the band and pay us. So imagine me coming to you and you on the club, and I come to you and say, "Can you hire my band? And by the way, can you pay us?"
Can you pay us?
Yeah.
Brett, I don't know if you heard. You still have a delay.
Still have a delay.
Yes.
I got the sound turned down low, real low.
Okay, wait a minute. We're good.
Okay. No? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
But it's a delay.
We hear you, but it's
okay. Tell you what, let's try this.
Can you just do it from your phone and put your volume?
I am doing it from my phone right now.
Okay, and
it's just from my phone right now.
Okay, and there's no delay. There's no delay. We can talk.
There you go. Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
I was asking if you had it from your car. You would just do it from your phone. That's okay. We got it. Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
We got it.
We were talking a little bit about how the career started and how you guys got into your band, had the band. And Bill was telling us about how you guys had to go out and sell yourselves pretty much to get the gigs. He was going into the clubs, asking them to get you guys opportunity to be on stage and do your thing. Were the people receptive?
Believe it or not, the people were very receptive. And the thing about it is, Bill had great ways of like manipulating people into giving us gigs. Bill used to deliver Keebler cookies back in the day.
Okay.
And Bill could do anything with those Keebler cookies. Bill could win elections with those Keebler cookies. And every time he did something, it just happened. I mean, I don't know what it was. I thought they were drugged or something.
He had the touch, right?
He had the touch, but he got his gig, so I can't complain.
Now, how was it that both of you guys were into music and you still do things together on occasions, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
because
we
you
do.
have because you have an event coming up.
Right, right, right. We do. We
That
play
you're gonna do.
separately and we play together. And whatever it is, and my brother does most of his stuff. Probably a lot of stuff in the studio. I do
Mhm.
stuff in the studio too, but not as much as he does because he does like the bigger stuff. I write for people and stuff.
I know we got two different types of things. We got Bill, who's a music producer, arranger, and record. Right, you write music, right, as well.
Sure,
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
And we have Brett, who's also a professional musician who's played with a whole bunch of people. I said there's such a big list. It's like, how could I? You know what I said? This is what I said. I said this is how I would describe it. That if you go back to the back in the day, okay, you're talking about Cab Calloway, you're talking about, I mean, that's real far back, okay, because I saw that
Mhm.
on your list, to
Yes.
George Howard, to Norman Connors, and we take you all the way up to now with Usher and Janet Jackson. You've had a wider range of people that you perform with. And Bill, that's the same for you. I know. Both of you have performed with people and worked with people who of the same folks at one point. Maybe not together, but at one
Well,
point. Is that correct?
believe it or not, most of those I think was me and my brother together. Even though there might have been some things that have been separate. I think Bill's done some people by himself. I did people like Peebo Bryson by myself. It all depends. Or Casey from Casey and the Sunshine Band, whatever.
Okay, okay. Oh, what was this? Janet Jackson and Teddy Pendergrass? Come on.
Yeah, but Jenny Jackson. I mean, it's kind of hard to remember all of them. Jenny Jackson, Teddy Pendergrass, The Emotions, McFadden Whitehead, Olivia Newton-John.
Okay,
Oh
okay,
goodness. Uh,
okay. Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Casey and the
You know,
Sunshine Band.
there was
Uh,
no way I could name them all.
listen, no way you can name them all. Linda Carter, who was actually was the original Wonder Woman. She sings country
I know
now.
Linda Carter. She sings
Yeah,
country music. Okay. So you
yeah,
work
yeah,
with
yeah.
now, but you also are focused on helping people. I was looking at your site and I was seeing that you have a Melody
Melody
Graham,
Graham.
which is a big
Yes.
thing. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the basic gist is that music is very powerful, and the thing about it is, you can if you convey a message to music, it can have a bigger impact on the person who's listening to it. If you think about it, like a lot of people have been driven to suicide just based on lyrics of a song, or somebody will love somebody based on the lyrics in a song. That's why I have the
Mhm.
dedication stuff like that. Mellygram is what it does. It takes your message and we put it to music, and whatever, and along with video,
Okay.
and that way you make something really heartwarming for your special someone.
I saw that you have a variety. You could do something like somebody you could actually have somebody perform it for you, the
Exactly.
voice, or you could use they do the words and they could sing it, or someone else could sing it. You
That's
do
right. Whatever way they want it.
commercials,
Whatever they're willing to
videos,
pay for. Yeah,
and you
yeah.
do the videos as well.
Yeah, and you send it to the people who want to send it by email, and it's a great thing.
Okay, so you've been doing this for how long? Would you say?
A couple of years, I would say. It started when a friend of mine named Ray wanted to do a song for his wife, and I wrote the song for his wife. And they were in the car one day. She was driving, and he put it in the cassette player, and she started crying, and she had to pull over because she couldn't drive anymore.
Wow.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
that's how
so
it started.
that's how it started.
He said, "I can do this. I can make this happen." When you
Hmm.
think about some of the people who you've worked with, is there anyone in particular that stands out? And Bill, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
That's a really good question because there's a lot of people, and stand out could be a very broad statement. Stand out in different ways.
Okay,
Some people
okay.
might stand out.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
I have interviewed a whole lot of people, but there are certain
Mhm.
people that stand. Mark Wahlberg, nobody would believe this, was the one that said, "Who are you? I have seen you this morning, this afternoon, and now you're interviewing me for television. Who are you?" And I was like, wow. I felt I was like, oh, I am Yanina. I work for radio, television, and newspaper. He was like, I just need to know you because you must be somebody. I was like, yeah, you're somebody. Okay, that's one.
Okay, I got you. Well,
And
I
I
just
have
said it.
others. I've got so many others because I've run across being in the media. I've sat up in the press room and I've run into Kid and Play, Mike Bivens, all the stars that come up, in the press area and sit down and
Yeah.
talk to you. So that was an experience for itself. And to have my friends and family with me so they get a chance to meet them too, because it's not just about you, it's about sharing it, sharing that experience with others. So on that note, who would you say stood out?
Well, there are different ones, and even on that spectrum, it's kind of like I remember one time when Bobby Brown came up to me and he said of course he had a drink in his hand, and he said, "Man, you are jamming up on stage." He said, "I'm gonna, want to get a few more bruises in me. I'm gonna come up there and jam with you." And I was thinking about it. I said, I was like, I want him to do this or not.
Right, that's what stands out. That's what
that one stands out. That one stands out. And then, of course, there's another time when Dennis Edwards from the Temptations, he saw me play in Washington, D.C. And he actually found me. He searched around the building for me. He said, "I've been looking for you." He said, "My brother, you are one fantastic bass player." And I was like, "Man, out of all the people that you've come across," I said, "that's a true compliment."
I love it. I love it. Bill, your turn.
The one who stands out the most?
Yeah, like an experience or a person, yeah.
I think there's well, let's see. There's probably three that stand out the most. I think the first one is it has to be Grover, of course, because that, the interesting thing about Grover Washington Jr., for those people who don't know, saxophonist. He, the first tune we ever tried to play as a band was Mr. Magic, and so we, that's back when I was playing drums, and so to be with him for 10 years and to be his music director was really, an amazing experience for me. And he just handled business so well. He was a nice guy.
Okay.
I never saw him say anything mean about anybody. So that really influenced me. Second person I would probably say is Bill Withers.
Oh, Bill Withers.
But for different reasons.
What was his song?
Well, the most famous song he has that everybody knows is "Lean on Me."
Lean on Me, right?
Right, Lean on Me. He has a million. He's got a million songs. He has a million. He passed, of course. He's late Bill Withers. But what made him so different was that first he was not going to perform with us. We were doing an award show, actually a tribute to him, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to sing." And they kept saying, "He will not sing. He will not sing. He will not sing. No, he will not sing." I was like, they said, "Bill, make him sing." And so I had to go through this process where I had to call his wife, and she kind of checks you out, and and you have to vibe with her first, and then she lets you talk to him. And then when he and I got to talking, we realized that we were born one day apart. I'm the 3rd of July, he was the 4th of July, and we started joking and laughing and everything like that. And he says, "All right, Bill, I'm gonna sing one song."
All right. You got to go out there and sing.
Yeah, but he was just so cool, and so he was the funniest guy you'll ever meet. Really deadpan, And one of the things I remember saying to him one time is, I said, "Man, you got so many songs." That Anthony Hamilton was doing the tribute with us as well. Me, Bill Withers, and Anthony Hamilton, and so. And I told him, I said, "Man, I got so many great songs. I want to do them all, man." And Bill's response, well, you're the blank music director. Make it happen.
You can do that, right? So what did you do? Put a medley together?
I put a medley together of all the songs, and we did it,
Nice.
The last person I think that influenced me the most was the performance I did this past weekend was with Pink.
Okay.
She was, first of all, it's the biggest production I've ever seen. It was amazing. I mean, we were at Lincoln Financial Field. It was completely sold out. Behind the scenes, there were probably 250 people putting the show together. I mean, everything from, stuff, acrobatics in the air and trampolines and big, it was amazing.
So nice.
And Pink was one of the nicest people. She hugged everybody in the choir.
Now
And
you've done a song with her with your choir. You have a choir yourself, is that correct, Bill?
yeah, it's with the Bill Jolly Choir,
Uh-huh.
and so we did a song called "I Am Here," and that's what we did with Pink this past weekend. That
Uh-huh.
song "I Am Here" it was written by a guy named Billy Mann, who was from Philly as well. And so, yeah, but we backed up Celine Dion and Michael Bublé and Patti LaBelle and Teddy and a bunch of people. And so,
And the
yeah, and
list
all
goes
really,
on and on.
yeah, it's just a
And that
bunch of
list goes on and on, right?
yeah, but it's just a bunch of singers. It's just a bunch of singers and lead singers and background singers who are my friend. We just get together and back up people, and that's really all it is.
You know, and that's really, really good. I know a couple of things about you I didn't get a chance to mention was you just did the tribute to Grover Washington, right? Dionne Warwick, you did the score for the music for her film that was on TV or seeing what was it on?
HBO Max. It's
H-
still on HBO Max right now. It's called
Yo.
"Don't Make Me Over."
Mhm.
It's Dionne Warwick's life, which is really, really cool. And producer was a guy named Dave Woolley, who was out of Delaware. And that's
Wow, isn't that great that you got people right near the area that's doing things big?
yeah, absolutely. You know, the funny thing is even when you don't go to New York or you don't go to LA, there's a Philly connection that happens that makes things happen.
I know, I see.
Even when I worked with Lee Daniels, who's from Philly, the producer
Right.
Lee Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
it was, it was again from a Philly connection that got me to him, but he was out in LA. So
Okay.
that's kind of how you don't
Things
have
happen.
you don't have to be there, but you got to know somebody who's there. Who used
It's
to be in
all
Philly.
about who you know. They say that in this world. You also were on a TV show. What was the name of that TV show?
The one I was on.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, you mean where I was hosting, or that one?
Well, the one that you dressed up, I mentioned this as Jimi Hendrix.
Oh my God, that one was called. Oh shoot, what is the name of this? It was called L.A. House. Oh God, it was one of those house TV shows. What is the name
How
of that?
did that go about? What
It was,
part was you?
oh God, I got to look for what it is because now you got me stumped. But what happened was they had contacted me about a friend of mine had
I
contacted
got it. $1 million vintage.
$1 million listing Los Angeles.
There you go.
So this is the
So
funny
what
thing.
was that about? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sometimes when you have so many little things, like my brother will tell you that you forget the names. You just
See,
But anyway,
I just did it. I know I did it.
yeah, you did it. Right. You forget it and you go on. That's because the music industry is like you could have just climbed Mount Everest. As soon as you get to the bottom, first thing they ask you, okay, you did that. What's next?
I know it's always what's next.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about the little show, that show. And
Yeah. So anyway, it was basically it's a show where they go and look at the values of homes, and they sell these $1 million homes. And I had a friend of mine who was working as the producer on the show, who called me in to go to Los Angeles to be on this one particular show, where it was a $1 million estate where Jimi Hendrix and all of these people and the Beatles, they used to go, and they wanted everybody to dress up as people from the past.
oh,
They
okay.
asked me to come down and be on the show and to dress up as Jimi Hendrix. So
Okay. What an experience. You made it to big TV.
my through 2.5 seconds of fame or 5 seconds, whatever it is.
Hey, they got pictures of you out there. That's what makes us know. The only way I know is because they got pictures of you dressed up like Jimi Hendrix.
There you go.
But Brett, did you do some work with Jimi Hendrix or Herbie
I
Hancock?
did a Jimi Hendrix tribute. It's kind of funny because my brother did dress up like Jimi Hendrix, and I did too. And the deep part about it was that I was out in Chicago. I think it's someplace called Elston or something like that. I was outside in October. It was kind of chilly, but we did a couple places, and it was just interesting doing Jimi Hendrix music.
Okay.
I know Billy Cox used to play for him. He thought I was great because I was imitating him, and My thing is like this, pay me and I'm good.
To pay me. Tell me, you guys, both of you, did you get trained in the music? Did you the instruments you were working with, or was that something that just came naturally?
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, for me, I started by playing by ear. Initially, I started playing piano
That's
by
what
ear.
I wondered. Okay.
My brother did too, but I let
Okay.
him dance. But I started playing by ear, and then I went to school and tried to figure out what I was doing. But when once I finally started playing piano, when I got to college, I got an F in Piano 101. The only
Okay.
class I ever failed was Piano 101 in college.
And you're a keyboard, you're the master of the keyboards now, right?
Well, I don't know about the master, but I failed, and I failed the jazz band for 4 years. I didn't get that either. So, but yeah, later I learned what I was doing. I learned a lot again. Again, George Allen taught me in high school.
High school, right?
So he had me start writing arrangements for the band and things like that. Little did I know that was really going to be helpful later, especially when you start writing out orchestrations for PBS specials with orchestras and stuff like that. And so it helps if you can do both. For me anyway, it helps. But
you also write though, Brett, right?
I do, but I didn't have any training in it. Matter of fact, the only way I really learned was for bass guitar. My brother bought a bass guitar home once from school, and I picked it up, and I just started playing it. And it's kind of interesting because even when I first started, it was 4 years old. My folks brought a piano home, and I started playing this tune called "Stand By Me" on it the next day, and so it was like. The ear thing was kind of and I wanted to play basketball, but the more I played basketball, the better I got at music.
Wow. So you knew there was something there. Did you guys both know there was something there, and that was the path that you were going to take?
I can't say. I wanted to be a basketball player, but at some
I'm
point,
going back to that. You want to be a basketball player.
I wanted to be a basketball player, but I realized once I hurt myself in high school, I said I got to do something. I said, my next love is music, and I haven't looked back.
Okay.
I think for me, I knew from first grade that I was going to play some kind of music. I knew that, even though I had a love for basketball too. But I think in my heart and my mind, I knew that music, except I thought I was going to be a drummer, but I ended up being a piano. I knew I was going to be in music somehow.
But you're capable of playing basically almost anything.
Well, I don't play every instrument.
Which ones do you play? Which ones do you play then, Bill?
Well, when I was in high school, I used to fill in for whoever was missing. If it was the bass player, the drummer, either the bass player, the drummer, or the piano player. So I almost forgot that. But yeah, so whoever was missing in the band, I filled in on their parts. But that I play, I'm very minor at the bass and very minor at the drums now.
You said that's not your thing.
Yeah, I don't mess around. I can't do what my brother does.
It was funny because what everybody knew you from the guy with the scarf, the piano key scarf. I said, and that was your signature thing. What made you decide to wear that scarf?
You know what it was back then? Believe it or not, it was marketing.
Okay.
It was marketing. It's what everybody tries to do now. Like, the thing is, back then I knew that it was important to have something to make people remember you by. Mm-hmm. So even if they didn't know my name, they knew it was that guy who wears that piano scarf.
Okay.
So I wore it everywhere. I have videotapes of me on a beach out in 100-degree weather wearing this concert with a piano scarf on. It's ridiculous now, but it allowed me.
Do you wear it still?
I still have it. I'm not in the exact same one. That's fallen apart many times. It's been other versions of it.
Thank goodness you got a newer one.
Yeah, I wore that one until it fell apart. It just fell apart and died. So that's it.
It worked though, because people knew you from that. When you look back at the career, what were some of your challenges?
Oh
that
my God!
Question goes to both of you. So
okay. My challenges were, the basic just was trying to expand myself. Like, there were times like when I first started out, I would need somebody to sing a song if I wrote it, and I realized I can't get everybody when I wanted to, so I had to try to sing it myself. Of course, then play the part, play the bass line, or play the piano, or play the drums, or whatever it is I need to do. So, for that, I said, you know what happens if I can't depend on anybody at that particular moment?
Okay.
And that's when I kind of said, you know what, I need to learn to do everything that I can do, and that was my challenge.
And
but I conquered it.
I was gonna say that's what you've done, though, right?
That's what I've done.
That's right. That's right. I said, I was thinking about the last time I saw you, and I said, I think I was at an event. It was somebody's birthday, and they said Brett Jolly's here. I said, no, Brett Jolly's here. Let me go over and let them know that I'm here, because if I see you guys wherever I see you, I'm going to say hello. And we connected. I don't know if you remember that, and that's when you gave me your number, because I said I want to interview you, but it took me this long to get this interview.
That's all right. Better late than never.
But I am so glad I've got the opportunity to. So,
yes,
challenging.
It's our pleasure and privilege.
Thank you. What was your challenges that you found in the business, Bill?
Oh my God, I had so many that my challenges were the things that helped me to be exactly who I are. If it weren't for the challenges, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing. I mean, first of all, like I say, I was the drummer. The piano player quit, so we couldn't find a piano player, so I played the piano. Then the singer.
So those challenges helped you.
Absolutely, the singer quit. At an audition, I had to sing. Then the sound man left. I had to do the sound, and then the drummer left. I bought a drum machine, and then the lawyer screwed me up, and I had to learn how to do law. And then the video editor left, and I had to learn how to edit video.
So it was one thing after another. Yeah.
Every challenge is made me who I am, so I'm grateful for it. Like everything that happens, really, you have two choices. You either are going to crumble, or you have to figure it out and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What I know that they have a documentary that's being worked on about you, Bill.
Yeah, it's been worked on right now, and it's really. It's humbling, and it's very interesting, in a lot of ways, because, most of the time people don't get together to say nice things about you until you're dead.
Which is true and sad, but true.
Everybody that says nice things is like, well, So, it's really cool now to have people come in and tell some of the stories that they've told. I mean, some of the stories I had forgotten about, and but it's also very humbling in a lot of ways, because you get a chance to really look at, like, wow, what have you done, and what have you been able to accomplish in your life? And so it's been very, very humbling, especially going back. Like last week, I actually went back to Overbrook for the first time in a long time.
Wow. Okay.
On the stage there, and I'm in the Hall of Fame there now, but I went back to my college as well, and which was interesting as well, because back then, and most of my classes, in 90% of my classes, I was the only African American person in the class.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But now at my university where I graduated, there was this big statue of Frederick Douglass, and he looks mean and black, like he's getting ready to bust some slaves out or something, bondage. Okay. And at the bottom of that statue is my name.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what an honor.
Yeah. So in a lot of places that, to be able to go back and look and say, here are the obstacles and the things that you've been through, but I'm like a part of the history of that now,
Okay. Have you done some music of your own as well?
Me? Yeah, I did one record, and I did it after my mom passed. Rowena was her name, but after she passed, I realized that, like, the term "life is short,"
right?
Like you hear it, but like when she passed, I got it. I got it. So when she passed, I said, I'm going to do everything I ever wanted to do in life. And doing my own record was something I'd never done. And I think I took 2 weeks and did it, just got it out of the way. I didn't care if it sold 2 copies, really, to be honest with you. I just wanted to say I did it.
Okay, now there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And it was called Behind the Scarf, believe it or not. And it was because My mom made my first scarf.
Oh, are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
it wasn't a piano scarf. It was like a blue, white, and whatever. She made my first scarf. She knit it,
Okay. Okay.
and,
Mhm.
and so she was the person really behind it all. And then, and it's a picture of me with the back, and I'm the guy behind the scarf. So I called it Behind the Scarf. So.
Ah, cute, cute, very cute. Now,
Mhm.
Brett, I did
Mhm.
hear the song that you wrote for your father after your father
Yes.
passed.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. He was very special to both me and my brother.
Hmm.
And he told me things that that a lot of people, a lot of kids won't hear from their fathers. He told me stories about Martin Luther King and everything else, but he was special to both me and my brother. And I said, if anything else, I'm going to do the song in tribute to him, and that's what I did.
Love it. I love it. Okay. Last thing, the event that's coming up. Can you guys give us another play on this? What's happening next weekend?
Well, let's say I have it in front of me. My brother doesn't. So it's the 23rd of August, and it's at Keystone Corner. I think that's out in Baltimore.
Hmm.
And then on the 24th of August, the very next day, we're at the Hamilton in Washington, D.C. So yeah, we've
And this is called the what's
well,
the event?
it's a tribute to Teddy Pendergrass with the
Mhm.
Teddy Tribute Band, and it's a tribute to Teddy Pendergrass. And Damon Keith Williams is our lead guy, and Wawa LeGrand, who is Teddy's original guitarist, he's the
Mhm.
one that's worked with him in his last tour, but he worked with him from the beginning. So he's the original guy. And then my brother and Johnny Croom also work in the band, and so that's kind of what we do. And Tony is also in the band.
Mhm. Tony Trower.
Tony. Okay, I thought you were going to say Tony Dead. Okay.
No. Tony's just a drummer, but no. Tony Trower singing background.
Okay. Okay. So it's going to be good. If anybody wants to know how to get tickets or to come out, where do they find out about this?
Well, we have a Facebook page, but I don't know the name of it. Listen, my brain today.
Just look up tribute. Tribute.
Let me tell you something.
Tribute
Yesterday,
Teddy
I
Pendergrass.
woke up. I've been up since from 2:30 till I went to bed last night about midnight. I've
Okay,
been
you playing in the band or you music directing? What are you doing?
I'm doing a little bit. I'm crazy.
Everything.
I'm not, but I'm here.
I really
But,
appreciate this time. Then let me
the
tell you that.
little details I may be a little fuzzy on today.
But I would love you guys to when I get a chance, I want to get a tape of you saying I listen to WRD when I'm in Philly, and that's all the time. Something like that. For me, Yanina. Okay.
Absolutely, we hook it up. We will hook it
We'll
up.
do it.
We
Yeah.
will hook it up.
Absolutely.
It's funny because my buddy Nick Talaferro, uh, who's on
I know
WRD
Nick. Mhm.
for a while, most people don't know that his theme song I'd written with him, "Bring It In."
Oh,
That's me in the background laughing and doing that. So, so
wow.
URD and heard Nick's theme song. I've heard some of my stuff with him anyway. But I love
We
you.
didn't even know that.
Good
Tell
for
me something.
you.
Are you guys the only two in your family, or do you have brothers and sisters? Do you have
I
brothers?
think we're the only. I believe we're the only two.
Wow. Okay. I love it. What's Christmas and the holidays like? Do you guys all get together still?
It's different since our mother and father have passed, and we got our kids. We just try to we do different things to try to keep the mood right.
Okay.
It's important.
Okay. Keep it
Yeah,
keep it going because all we got is each other,
that's
family.
right.
You
Hmm.
know. And I'm so familiar with that being the youngest of nine. We've lost a few, but the last one's here. We're trying to keep it together. So
There you
That's
go.
right. It's important to do that.
well, Brett, if anybody is interested in doing the Melodygram, how do they reach you?
You can use www.brettjolly.com. BRETTJOLLY.com. There's samples on there. There's a lot of examples. Also, too, you can email me at brettjolly@aol.com.
Very
And I'll
easy.
explain all the details as we go.
All they got to do is look it up. They'll get a good example of what you have to offer.
That's correct.
Bill, the same for you is www.billjolly.com if they're interested
Yep.
in looking at whatever you got going
Yep.
on. And they
Yep.
can reach you through that form as well, right?
That's right. You can catch me just at BillJolly.com. Very easy.
Thank you, Philly guys. You know I'm in Atlanta right now.
Oh man, you're in ATL. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I come back and forth, but I still do the stuff for WRD. I still do the stuff for the newspaper Scoop. So I'm still in Philly, just here. So,
I understand.
but it's good to have you. Great job. Love what you guys been doing all these years, and keep up the good work.
And thank you so much, Yanina.
Yeah.
All right, that's Bill and Brett Jolly here on In the House Media, and I'm Yanina Carter with The Beat.